matchup, we have two teams who have victory on their minds. It's the Cowboys going up against the Eagles.
Thank you, Larry. It's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look live there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. The scene in South Philly a few moments ago. Boy, the city of brotherly love is fired up. They're saying, "Fly, Eagles, fly," as they get ready to match up with the Dallas Cowboys. Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Philadelphia Eagles offense having a great year as they take the field. Carson Wentz was a big part of that great year. Now it's up to that man, Nick Foles. But, hey, a good chance with what they did under Carson Wentz that they might not have to play another road game until, well, maybe going to the Super Bowl in Minnesota.
How about that? He set a pretty good base, didn't he? And Nick Foles, in his first game as a starter in 2017 against the Giants, brought them from a pretty good deficit. Brought them all the way back, got the win, and people are now remembering he had a season. In 2013, 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He won't equal those kind of numbers, but he is good enough to pilot Philadelphia into the playoffs, and I think deep into the playoffs.
And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first, but if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field, and when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Offense still needing 10 yards. Second down. Again, here's Blunt. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
So under the category of, while it can't be us because we're not that good, but could you imagine if this was you? LeGarrette Blount, his first 1,000-yard season since, what, 2010, his rookie year, and 18 touchdowns in the regular season, and no longer with New England.
He is over 30 now. He turned 30 in December. I don't know if that played a factor, but, yeah, such a productive year, and then he's gone.
Well, that just tells you this. Now he's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder trying to prove something.
This is Blount. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. And a look at the defense for the Cowboys.
Sean Lee's one of my favorite players, and I don't mind saying it because I love his versatility. I can move him inside at the linebacker position. I can move him outside. I could rush him off the edge, rush him up the middle. He could drop into pass coverage. In fact, his versatility was on display even in his high school days, where he was a big-time high school basketball player that had a chance to play in college as well.
Second down following the run. Now Foles. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Tyrone Crawford. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jeff Heath. And what a return as he brings this all the way back down to the 20-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
Cowboy offense heading out. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. The numbers for Zeke from last week. 24 carries, 97 yards.
In a perfect world, they'd run the ball the same way they did last week, but against the #1 rush defense in the league, they're going to have to find a different way to move the ball. Maybe they start throwing it early and come back to the run.
A second down throw for Prescott. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. I know some of the talk after last week's loss was the O-line struggles. They gave up 4 sacks. He got hit here and taken down again, so that's something to monitor.
It is something to monitor, but they've got to help their offensive line out. Maybe a little bit different play calling, right? Draws, screens, get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quicker, maybe some quick game passes. All of that to try and help slow down a pass rush and make things easier on their offensive line. This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And the Cowboys will call on Dan Bailey here. This from 44 yards away. And Bailey able to knock it through. And the Cowboys are going to jump out to a 3-0 lead. So after the pick, they can't capitalize for 6, but they do get 3.
And I know in this situation, most of us want to focus on the offense. You know what side of the ball I played on. Let's give that defense a lot of credit, taking it over in a sudden change situation and shutting them down.
Now after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time.
You know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Over the middle to Smith. And he's able to get out to the 32. Brought down there. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. They'll run again with Blount. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
But we tend to give those running backs that are slashers a lot of credit. But how about guys who are maulers? Because that's who you want in short yardage situations. And we just saw that occur right there, didn't we?
Vertical, downhill running. That will get our first update of the afternoon from the Meadowlands. And the Redskins there out to an early lead. Kirk Cousins, an early touchdown pass in that one. Now a carry for Blount. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here.
Watch tight. Tight end's right. Watch tight. Tight end's right.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. It'll be a gain of 3, and it also takes us to the end of the first quarter of play.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Eagles with the ball here to begin quarter number 2. They'll come up on a 3rd and 4 here to start things out. And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on 2nd down. On play action, they'll throw. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Demarcus Lawrence in there to get him, and that's sack number 18 for him on the year. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result?
Sack.
Quarterback gets hit.
Donnie Jones set to punt it away now in his 14th year in the NFL as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Now a high kick, almost a pooch punt. And a fair catch called for and made just outside the 15-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Cowboys will be backed up to start the drive. They'll have it 1st and 10. Dallas Cowboys offense, they'll get ready to go again here in just a second. Earlier we were discussing the roller coaster ride a little bit that it's been for Dallas this year. And
yeah, and I know where you're going, too. You don't mind me jumping in, do you? I know exactly where you're going.
Because I didn't know where I was going. So.
You knew where you were going. You were thinking about Dak and Zeke.
Yeah.
Because Dak Prescott last season, phenomenal. Only threw 4 interceptions. Really made a lot of plays. Ezekiel Elliott was a big part of that, his ability to run the football. But you mentioned roller coaster, right? Zeke's in the lineup, Zeke's out of the lineup, makes it tough. And Dak had to adapt. And I think lately his play has reflected that he can handle things even if Zeke's not there. And now when you get them back together, because Ezekiel Elliott back for the Seattle game in Week 16, look out, I think Dallas will be that much stronger.
Prescott now on 2nd down. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Jason Witten, the intended target. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
Well, they're slinging it. And then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. On 3rd down, it's Prescott. He completes it to Bryant. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Third and long for Prescott. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down.
Well, the fans should be applauding this defense right now. It's an excellent job. They force a 3 and out, and they should be able to set up their guys with great field position, probably near midfield or better.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Taken right around the 44. Oh, and now he bowls him over. It's a 45-yard punt, then 8 on the return. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. Back out for another drive comes LeGarrette Blount. As you see the season totals, barring a really great effort today, Charles, probably going to fall a little bit shy of 1,000, but still he's had some moments this year.
Plenty of them for him to be in this spot right now. And I don't know about you, but I'm betting that the head coach is spent this entire week playing a little bit of a mind game with him.
How so?
You go by him in practice. You go by him in the locker room. You keep muttering like, yeah, it's been a pretty darn good year. I guess not going to get to 1,000, but, you know, been a good year overall. And see if that motivation increases his production. And if you're able to do that, it increases your chances of winning.
We're going to find out. It's possible. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
Foles. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. The Eagles on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll run it now out of the gun. LeGarrette Blount, touchdown, Philadelphia. LeGarrette Blount, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Eagles are able to cash it in for 6. Well, they were just hoping that run would pick up the first. They got the whole enchilada.
And I'm so used to teams on third down, doesn't matter how far they need for a first down, throwing the ball. Instead, they run it, and as you said, pick up the first down, and then some, and then some. In fact, everything, all the way for a touchdown. Terrific play.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. And this is up and good to make it 7-3.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Elliott now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. A busy final day for you coming up in the NFL. Final day of the year as well. 11 other games going on as we speak. And then coming up later this afternoon, 2 games each from the AFC West and NFC West, all kicking off at the same time. Raiders, Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, Cardinals, Seahawks, Niners, Rams.
Loving it. Loving it.
That's it for the 2017 regular season. It'll be Happy New Year time. And Charles, you going to dust off Auld Lang Syne for us tonight?
Meet me at midnight, baby. You'll find out.
Hard pass. Now Prescott. And he hits Jason Witten, the tight end. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. A first down carry by Elliott. And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
Second down, Prescott. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Looking to throw. Prescott. Hard throw. Incomplete. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And that will hit and continue on out of bounds. Now LeGarrette Blount gets set to go again on offense. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
And give him a lot of credit there, but even more credit to the guys up front. In that situation, you know it's going to be a stacked defensive front. And to be able to gain that much yardage, that's a big win for the guys on offense.
Yeah, they were just about standing on their own goal line, so to get a few yards there, a great start. Now we'll see what second down brings. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. For a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on third down. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on fourth. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Here's Donnie Jones now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. Taken in at the 11. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Again, it's Elliott. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest.
A first down throw for Prescott. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Prescott going deep here for Bryant. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ronald Darby. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may have forced them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
An NFL update there in the second quarter in Baltimore. And the Bengals out to the early advantage. Andy Dalton with one touchdown pass thus far. The drive starts with a handoff to Blunt. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. So we've reached halftime here on New Year's Eve, as we send you down to Orlando, where we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Larry.
Okay, Brandon, thanks, and welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get to the highlights. Both the Eagles and Cowboys have not had the best success throwing the football. It's a passing league, but these defenses have mostly been able to contain that today. So let's take a look at the highlights from the first half. Eagles come out on 3rd and 4. Defense will get to the quarterback here. This ends up as a loss of 9. Third down from inside the 40. Lunt's got nothing but space here, and this long run goes for a touchdown. The lead grows to 4.
All right, Larry, thank you. A fairly tight game here as we get set to resume play in this second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Dak Prescott on the offense heading back onto the field. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, well, get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
He hasn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Prescott to throw it. And fights him off. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. It's caught at the 10. A big play here for Dallas. 51 yards. They've been struggling in the passing game. Do you like the aggressiveness there? I mean, it worked on that play, but do you like it?
I do, because a lot of the time you're struggling because your passing lanes are clogged. That usually happens when you're throwing the ball underneath. People start to press up on you. Push them deep. Find some space and open things up again. Being aggressive there, I think, will pay off for them.
So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. Now Elliott, and they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
And this offense on 3rd down today, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. Prescott from the gun. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. Terrence Williams, his first touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys are in for 6. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Dan Bailey now for the extra point. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it culminates in a Dallas touchdown. Bailey now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
A little eager there coming in from his outside linebacker position.
You think the hard count got him there?
Yes.
Maybe that extra hut, you know, that extra emphasis on it. Got him to jump, and they picked up 5 yards.
Now a play fake here on first down. Incomplete. Well, pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Now out of the gun, and he's going to get this one down to the 45. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave him with a 3rd down and 6 to go.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll be 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. Here's Donnie Jones now as he's on to punt for Philadelphia. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
On 2nd down, Elliott. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
3rd and short yardage, Prescott. And that's caught by Smith. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. They'll run it now out of the gun. Some extra space following the display of power. Down just inside the 45. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. So the solid run on 1st, and I would imagine no real hurry to run that 2nd down play.
No, it's all in your quarterback now. He's going to keep an eye on the play clock and bleed things down, and he's not going to let the ball be snapped until it's inside 3 seconds left on the play clock. Unless, of course, you're playing a video game, you're trying to run it up on your friend.
Nice touch. Cold-blooded, too. They go to Elliott again. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
From the pistol, here's Elliott. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
And on the left side, he's got Witten. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Prescott from the gun on 3rd. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
So a big kick coming now for Dan Bailey. Made his first. This now from 46 yards away. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So they get the 3 here, but you wonder whether that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, you've now made it so they need a touchdown rather than a field goal to catch them. But you're right. If they'd gotten 6 out of that drive, this would be a much different game.
Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Eagles offense making their way back out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it.
And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. Demarcus Lawrence in there for the sack, and he's closing in on that all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
Here's Foles. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. They'll look to throw. They dump off underneath to Ajayi. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to 4th down.
Well, that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Here's Donnie Jones now. He's been terrific so far. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Pulled in at the 24. It'll be a 41-yard punt, give him 5 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
They start on the ground with Elliott. He finds an opening past the 40. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
Well, you know me, partner. I never tell them to back off of being aggressive. But sometimes you see the consequences when you're overly aggressive and you don't secure tackles. Guys break through.
Trying to sell out to pry that football loose. And just as you said, cost some yardage.
Hey, you go get him. Stand him up first before you go for the ball. Don't just go for it initially.
Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They go back to Elliott. He's been busy.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
After the penalty, it's Elliott. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. See if they stay on the ground for second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. Power running by Zeke. And he's going to be brought down at about the 33-yard line. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. The offense on third down tonight, they've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. They're looking at third in the nose of the football. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. Touchdown, Cowboys! Ezekiel Elliott hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
And they'll get set here looking for the 2-point conversion. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And he's got it. So the 2-point conversion is good, and they add on to their fourth quarter lead. So they go with a pass there on the 2-point try and able to convert it, Charles.
And a good job by the offense figuring out their 2-point play and using it well. It's interesting how people are using the strategy nowadays, though, isn't it?
It really is, and I don't know how much that particular play factored in, but with the PAT moving back in 15-16, that kind of changed things, didn't it?
It's really a part of everyone's strategy now. When I talk with coaches and when we sit with them, they always talk about they actually have 2-point periods in practice now, something they never really did before.
This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. The Eagles offense making their way back out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now, no matter the work he's getting.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Ertz has it left side. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. The Eagles hustling to the line, clock rolling. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Zach Ertz that time. And it'll bring up third down.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
The Eagles on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Okay, partner, hyperbole alert, all right? I think that this has got to be the best game I've seen this secondary play this entire season. Doesn't matter whether they've been in man, zone, they've reacted, communicated. and really made plays on the football.
They absolutely have. And the play on that last deep ball, maybe the best example of it, they've been solid all game long. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that's going to be just about all she wrote for this one. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that one.
They're down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, and they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. 2nd down and 10. A 20th carry here for Elliott. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college, and how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee, and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November. And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a 1st down.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Well, Prescott here to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more. A little insult to injury here late in the game. This to make it a 3-score game late. And the kick is good. So you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these two teams meet. But until then, this game's over. Elsewhere, they're on to the 4th quarter at MetLife Stadium. And the Redskins coming away victorious there. Kirk Cousins, 2 touchdown passes in the W. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Dallas, they will indeed finish over 500 at 9-7. And that is maybe not exactly what they were hoping for, but a better than average season nonetheless. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, this was basically just an exhibition. He clinched home field advantage. And the playoffs will run through their house as they'll get the week off and get set to host a divisional round game in 2 weeks' time. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we say so long from Philly.